today at my sweet home living, and I hope you're doing well. I've been missing you, but boy, oh boy, it has been a crazy time here around my sweet home living, and I am was bound and determined to make my Wednesday midweek check-in at noon today with you all. I have missed you the last couple of Wednesdays, and I do apologize for that. I'm telling you, spring and summer are by far my busiest times of the year, and it's just been really tough, and things have just been going on that are out of my control and have kept me busy and out of the craft room. So I said, you know what? Today we have got to be here today. Hello, Miss Jillian, Jenny, Jan, Tammy, Lisa, Jamie. Oh, I'm so glad y'all are coming in here. Let me do make sure that we get shared over into the craft round the clock community because that is where all of our friends are waiting for us um, over there in the group today. And oh, you guys, I was so close to having to cancel today. And I said, no, 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 I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I got to do it. I've got something I've been wanting to make for quite some time. And I think you'll love it. I really do. Um, Let me make sure we got the volume turned down here. I think we're streaming in all the places. We are live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook. And if you are watching this on YouTube, my videos are best viewed by watching via the YouTube app. Okay, there is a YouTube app that you can download onto your phone, your iPad, wherever, and that will allow you to be able to see my videos up close where you can see what we're working on much better than if you're watching without the app. Um, I think my mail lady's here. My notifications are telling me somebody's here on my porch. So hopefully we don't get a doorbell here in a second. That would just add it. That would just fit right in with the chaos that's going on in my life right now. I hope you had an amazing Easter. I don't think I've seen you all since Easter. Yeah, it's been crazy. My youngest son fell and we thought broke both of his elbows on Easter Sunday. After Easter lunch. All of the cousins were out playing basketball and came time to go. And he didn't say anything about it. He had hurt himself playing basketball and I didn't know until we were getting ready to go. And I said, oh my gosh, I said, I think we need to go get him x-rayed. And so we went and got x-rays on Easter Sunday afternoon. And whew, they were telling us that they thought both elbows were fractured, and so we waited until the following Monday when we could get in to see the actual orthopedic doctor, and they said, "No, we think just one is broken, but we're not for sure. Maybe his wrist as well." Both. It's just been crazy. It's just been absolutely crazy between doctor's appointments for that, normal life going on. It's spring, it's growing season, it's garden season, it's mowing season. And who does all the mowing? Yeah, yeah. It takes several hours to mow around on our farm. And then last weekend, I'm telling you, I'm just catching up. It's midweek check-in. We're catching up and doing a little bit of crafting together. So a lot of chatting and a little bit of crafting because I have missed you all. I've missed you. So I've got to catch you up on what's going on and why I've been MIA for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Um, so this last weekend was our designated farm cleanup day. When we moved in, there was a lot of debris that was left, just old things that were disposed in the woods. I guess people think when you throw things in the woods that it's gone. No, no. So we did a big cleanup. We've been working on cleaning out our basement, transforming it, the back unfinished part of the basement anyway, working on setting that up for canning storage and things like that. I'm so excited for. And in the midst of all of that, somewhere I got selected for jury duty for the month of May. And so I had to go for orientation for that. It has been non-stop chaos for the last 3 weeks around my house. So I was insisting on sitting down at the crafting table today and creating with you all today. And I promise you, I can't promise you that we're going to have some grand, glorious project, but we are going to take some time. We're going to visit. Hey, Miss Michelle from Georgia. And we're going to start on something. You see what I've got on my table here? It's a crock. It's a vintage crock. I got all kinds of weird stuff. Y'all ever just like throw stuff, weird stuff in? It's kind of been a catch-all. I usually have some look at that little Uncle Sam, and that's cute. I forgot I even had him. Um, I usually stuff some greenery in here and maybe some wooden utensils, and I display this on my hutch cabinet in my dining room. But I'm wanting to do something a little cuter than that. Uh, so we're gonna make some crock pokes today. We're gonna start on them anyway. And if we don't get finished with them today, I may be live again on Craft Round the Clock. Um, oh my gosh, my sound is, I don't know what my phone is doing. Yeah, I don't know what my sound has been oh, I don't know. I hope you all can hear me. Anyway, if I don't finish today, I may be live again tonight around 9 o'clock Central Time to finish them on Craft on the Clock because we've had a few ladies that have had some things going on and they had to cancel too. So if we don't get the crock pucks finished now, we'll finish them this evening. You'll have to come back. I'll let you know if I do end up coming back. I'll send out a telegram and a messenger broadcast on alert for you. Okay. Okay. So, what kind of crock pokes? Have you even heard of crock pokes? Thank you, Shelly. You like that crock? I've had that for a long time. I love it. Crock pokes, Jillian. Crock pokes. Well, guess what? We've got a rude commenter over here in remove. We had a rude commenter over on our YouTube channel. It's okay. It's okay. Don't have to be here. Only my friends want to know what's going on. And Mr. Zombie is not my friend. Hello, Miss Betty from Maine. Are you getting rain, Jessica? That's awesome. I think you probably need it, right? If you're in Texas. We are making some crock pokes. I'm gonna get tongue tied all day during this whole process. Crow crock pokes. Say that 10 times fast. Say it 2 times or 1 time. You're never gonna get through it. Crow crock pokes. And this is another pattern by Denise at Peach Bottom Primitives. You can find her Prims by Denise on Etsy. I will share the link with you. I do have the link. I'll be sharing that with you on my Telegram channel today and my Messenger broadcast channel. But look how simple. This is just a simple pattern, and we're going to jazz it up and make it look all prim. We're going to make a set of these to go in our vintage crock. All right. And of course, these would look beautiful with some sunflowers to poke in your crock as well. So I think we could really work some magic with these little crows. Now, let me shut my pattern book. I keep all my little printable patterns in a binder. And that way, when I'm ready to work on something, I just open it up and get busy. And that's what we're doing today. I didn't have a lot of brain power or time to pre plan something specific for today. So I just opened my binder and I've got projects there waiting for me. I was like, that's what we're going to do today. So I have already a crow crock post. They're pokes, Poke. Well, she just called them primitive crows on sticks or crock fillers. And it's gonna be backwards for you all. I'm sorry about that. Um, but they're crock pokes. That's what they're traditionally called with primitive style decorations. It's just something that you can put on a stick, and I've even pulled out. Let me show you. I even went to the yard and got a few sticks, and we're going to use these. You want something that's tall enough depending on what crock you have. Some of them are a little bit shorter, and some of them are a little bit taller. But you want something that's at least taller that sticks up out enough of your crock to display. Now, mine are probably a little too long, but I can always trim them down to make them fit. But our crows are going to go on the tops of these sticks, and then I can cut them down to size as I need them. Okay. I just kind of wanted to show you my thought process where we were going with this. Yes, there's something a little bit different. Now, if you I've got to get I've got to change the setting on my YouTube comments, and I keep looking and I don't see it, but all right, there we go. I have already trimmed out the pattern and it's really simple. If you want to freehand one, you can do that too. Super easy. Just draw a simple crow pattern. And you may already have like a wood cutout of a crow that you can trace and make your own. It's a really simple concept, so don't overthink it. But if you want the pattern, I'll share the link with you um, after we're finished today. All right. Now, I have some muslin fabric. It's also allergy season in Kentucky. Oak pollen is out. Grass pollen is crazy pants right now. Let's get our little cutting mat up and over here so that you all can, so I don't cut into my table. Let me put my comments over here so I can see you. Hey, Miss Mary. Thank you, Miss Christy. Hey, Mary Lou. Poke, like polk salad. Yes, Miss Lori. Like you're poking somebody in the arm. Poke. A crock poke. Gotta be careful saying that. Okay. We are going to cut. I'm only going to do one for now. And what we'll do is if I do come back live tonight, it'll be late. It'll be around 9 o'clock, maybe even later than that. Might be 9:45. So we might be some night owls on Craft on the Clock tonight. um, I can't stand up and do that right now. So we're just gonna, don't have to get anything super fancy here. You just want to cut out a square of fabric big enough to where you can trace your crow and leave about a quarter or half inch border around the crow shape. All right. So that's what I have done. Now we're going to use our straight pins and we're going to pin this down. Ay, ay, ay. Not pin my finger. Thank you, Miss Pam. Hey, Miss Esmeralda. How are you, sweet lady? How are you? I've been missing my friends so much. Oh, goodness, I tell you. Did you all know that this Friday's theme day in Craft on the Clock? Every Friday's a theme day in Craft on the Clock, by the way. If you like watching live crafting DIY shows, live streaming, where we do chat and interact with you. That's what you're here for. If you like that kind of thing, we are doing Ripped, Tattered, and Torn. That is our theme for this Friday in Craft Round the Clock. Um, there we go. Let me tilt this just a little bit so that you can see a little bit better if you're on my YouTube channel here. Um, there we go. I'm going to take some straight pins and I'm just going to pin this crow down to my two pieces. I've got two layers of my muslin fabric right here. All right. And I'm just using a gel pin. Now you can use one of those fancy vanishing, disappearing pins. I have one somewhere, but it never fails. Every time I go to need it, I can't find it. And so I just use what I have. Use what I have. I try to keep things fairly simple around here because if I make it complicated, Lord knows, I would probably not get anything done because at any given moment, I'm like my phone. I have about 20 apps open in my brain, about 20 tabs. Like if you're on a computer, you have multiple tabs. Well, on my phone, I usually have multiple apps running in the background. Before I went live, I actually checked and I kept swiping them closed and I thought, oh my gosh, how many apps do I have open? No wonder. Oh, my brain is on overload because I have about 20 apps running at the same time. I know I'm not the only one, right? Okay, we traced. Let me make sure around this whole little crow. And I think we're good. Now I'm going to take my straight pins out just for a second. I'm going to remove the pattern. And here's what we have. Do you all see that? Hi, Miss Deanna. Look at it. I am, hold on a second. Gotta delete. There we go. Okay. Um, both of those are together, and we're gonna pin them back so that it keeps them in place. I'm excited to see how this little crow turns out. Now we are gonna bake this little crow. We're gonna bake it. Your husband usually has about 100 tabs open on his iPad. Okay, well, I can feel the pain there. That's exactly the way I am. So I've pinned those two pieces back together, and what we need to do now is we need to trim around the crow shape. And when I trim around, I'm going to leave about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch overhang, if you will, um, around the crow pattern. And I will hold this up for you so that you can get a close-up view. And I'm gonna leave plenty of excess at the bottom because this is how we're going to attach it to our stick, okay? So here's what I've got going on. Do you see my shape? I'm leaving about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch overhang right there, all right? Hey, Miss Donna at Cypress Designs, how are you, friend? Um, Your line that you have drawn, your trace line, that's what it's called, is actually going to be your sewing line or your stitch line, if you will. So you want to leave excess. That's why we're leaving the excess around that line so that it stitches together without leaving any gaps or holes as we go. Okay. Now, you can always trim off. If you have a bunch of excess, you can always trim it off later. All right. So that's what I have right there. See? I use muslin for quilt backing and save all the scraps for prim crafting. That is perfect, Miss Pam. Absolutely. One day when my life slows down a little bit, I would love to quilt. I would love to quilt. I have tinkered a little bit with some small quilted type projects, but nothing like a full quilt size for sure. I would love that. Hey, Miss Amy, how are you? Hmm. I'm keeping my sewing machine threaded with just a neutral thread because here's why. We're going to be painting and staining this after we put it together. So I don't have to worry about having a specific color of thread to sew these two pieces together. All right. Hey, Miss Nancy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the bottom. This is the bottom of where we're going to attach it to the stick. Okay. We're going to leave this bottom open because obviously we have to have a place to slide this onto the stick. Okay. So we're not going to sew across the very bottom right there. We're just going to start on each side, go all the way around and end right here. So that's how we will start. And when you start and stop, you want to make sure that you back stitch and that will seal your stitching in place for you. Okay. Hi, Miss Dana. She's found us over on YouTube. I did, Mary Jane. I did fix my bobbin issue. And you know what? I was so embarrassed and so mad at the same time. All I needed to do was rethread my upper part of my machine. That's all I had to do. And if I had just taken like a second to do that when I was live with you all last time, it would have worked out just fine. Isn't that crazy? And it wasn't my bobbin after all. It was actually my top thread. That's all I had to do, and it worked just fine. Did you all see all the little rabbits, the little bunnies that I made? I should have brought them in here to show you all. They turned out absolutely darling. um, Okay, so let's start. I've put my needle down into the fabric and we're gonna start stitching and then we're gonna back stitch. All right, now we're gonna sail on down. And I'm kind of going a little bit quick until I get to my first turning point. I've got to turn my fabric around to go around his little belly. Okay, so I had to pick up my presser foot with my needle down in my fabric, and that holds my fabric in place while I pick up um, my presser foot. So let me make sure I've got my angle right, and then I will kind of go a little bit slow around his belly because it's curved. So we want to make sure that we kind of turn the fabric, guide it, and sometimes you kind of have to just pick up that pressure foot just a little bit and rotate your fabric just so that it's you continue on your line that you got. That's your guide, is that tracing line. So when you get around these little curves, sometimes you got to slow down and adjust a little bit. And if you're like me, sometimes you're a little heavy footed and you want you end up going a little fast. Sometimes I just reach over here and I just turn my wheel to make a slow couple of stitches without it, without any risk of being heavy footed and going too fast around some of these curves. Hmm. Sometimes you just got to do that around some of those tighter turns. Okay, especially when you get to one of these little points. Come on. We're just going to do the wheel a couple of times, and that'll ensure that I get the curve around the end of his beak just like I want it. And then we'll turn it, make another stitch, turn it, make a couple of more stitches until we get to the straight line, and then we can use our presser foot again. And don't fret if you mess up, if you kind of get off your path, you can use a seam ripper, rip your threads out and start all over. It's not um, anything a mistake that you can't fix, honestly. Just like with regular crafting, you can always fix a boo-boo uh, pretty easily. Okay, I've got another curve around the top and the back of his head. So I'm just gonna manually make a few stitches until I kind of clear the curve, and then we'll use the presser foot. Be careful that you're not running over any of your straight pins. Now we're smooth sailing down the straight of his back until we get down to his tail. We're going to slow it down a little bit and we're going to start a little curve down here. Go around his tail, and you'll see we're going to flip this wrong side out here in a little bit, and you'll see how cute. All of those curves are worth taking the time to slow down because then it'll help your finished product look so much better and the shape will be exactly the way you want it. All right, we made it around the tip of his tail. Almost finished. We're coming up to the last little stretch. So I'm going to turn it and come down the bottom. And now we're to the very end here. So I'm going to get down to the bottom and go back stitch a few times. Okay. Stop with my needle up, raise my presser foot. Excuse me. There we go. Got a little tangle right there. All right. So we're finished with that for now. All right. So here we can take our straight pins out. And at this point, we are going to use, like using these little pressure spring scissors. So what we're going to do around all of the curved areas, let me just snip those little excess threads off. Uh, Around all the little curved areas, around the bottom of his beak, I'm going to take these little scissors. I'm going to make some snips in the fabric. I'm not going to cut through the stitch line, okay? I'm just going to cut up very close to it, but not through the line. So if you cut through your stitch line, you're going to make a hole. And when you turn it right side out, you're going to have a hole in your crow. So I'm just going to actually go around all of this because his belly has a curve to it all the way around. And this will help when you fold it right side out, it will help prevent your fabric from kind of puckering. Okay. And for those of you that already know all of this, I apologize, but we have lots of newbies here. We have lots of newbies. You love these little snips too, Gail. They come in handy. They save your hands from cramping up. I'm telling you, the allergies are driving me insane today. All right, he has a little curve at around the top of his beak, so I'm going to snip that as well. But we do have lots of newbie sewers around here, and maybe you haven't started sewing yet, but you've been thinking about it. I'm hoping that to win you over with some of these little projects. If you missed my bunnies before Easter, you should go back and catch that video. They were so sweet, so sweet. I did a quick video because one of my live stream videos, when I was trying to create those little bunny rabbits, my sewing machine decided to give me some fits, and I kind of panicked. Kind of panicked, and I wasn't able to finish it. But I did uh, a quick video for you on how to make those, and they turned out absolutely darling. So darling, I ended up making 7 of them. Can you all believe that? Made 7 of them. I just couldn't stop, and I thought, okay, I'm just going to make a whole set of these, and I had a perfect little dough bowl to put them in, and so I just kept making them. I sat in here one Friday, and it was kind of quiet, which is unusual. I had a Friday of just a few hours where I could work on that. I'm telling you, it was like therapy. It was so nice. So what I'm doing now is I'm kind of going in, and wherever I have a little bit too much overhang, I'm just trimming it down a little bit closer to my stitch line, just so I don't have so much bulky material when we flip it or when we turn it wrong side out, right side out. We don't want all that extra bulk in there if we don't need it. I'm still leaving some overhang, but just trimming it down in some of the areas where maybe I have a little bit too much. Okay, let me snip just a little bit on top of his head right there. Okay, now here comes the fun part. Y'all ready for this? We've got to turn this crow right side out. And it can be a little stubborn at times. So this is where you need to pull out your patience, which is sometimes hard to find. I get it. I totally get it. You need patience, and you need like when it comes to turning things like this right side out. You could use your scraps for making snippets. Tell me what you're talking about, Miss Debbie. I know you know exactly what you're talking about, but I don't. um, I'm not sure that I know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. You have a brother in your closet as well. You haven't used it since COVID. Oh, Miss Dana. Oh, get that out. Okay, so once you get it started, it goes a little bit easier. Okay, but you just gotta just push it, pull it, twist it. Don't curse it, but be patient. You love crows to decorate. Oh, good, 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 Miss Susan. Um, Miss Rosanna, you caught us live. I'm so glad you're here. She's catching us live for the first time over on YouTube. Welcome in. I'm usually a little bit more put together than this. I'm just a hot mess. It's been a hot mess. Been a hot mess for the last 3 weeks. Okay, we're starting to get somewhere. I've turned it right side up. We've got to get his beak and his head formed out a little bit. Okay, it's his beak that's not come all the way out. And if we don't finish this, we won't because I have to bake him and paint him. But I'm going to get to a good stopping point, and then I'll be back on tonight. We're gonna do some late night crafting tonight. Hi, Miss Rosanna. Um, Frost. Yes, I don't have anything like that yet. Not yet. You saw some cute seed sacks. Oh, that would be cute, Denise. Okay. I'm just taking the blunt end of a skewer stick, okay? And I'm just running it around the outside. See where I'm going to take it around that edge? And that's going to just make sure that my fold is all the way out. Now let's get down here to his tail. The beak and the tail are the two tiniest parts of the crow's body. So naturally they are a little bit more challenging to pull out. But it can be done. You just gotta have that patience, okay? And this one, you don't want to use the sharp end of your skewer stick because that will poke through your seam, creating a hole. And you don't want to use the tip of your scissors because that will do the same thing. That can actually cut a hole in your fabric. Okay. There are some little pincher tools, and I forget what they're called, but I have seen some ladies using those before. And I thought, oh, yes, I need to get me some of those. um, I need my smaller skewer stick here. This is helping a little bit. There we go. Yes, we got it. Okay, let me, I'm going to use the pointed end just ever so slightly to make sure. Okay, just wanted to poke through the fabric. Okay, there we go. There we go. See, I told you that patience would pay off. So that's going to be a cute little size. Now, what we're going to do next, whoops, I see his belly's not quite all the way. Now, if you fold yours right side out and you see like a little area that doesn't fold, like maybe right here it's not quite folding out smoothly, that's where those little snips, you remember when I took these little scissors and made some snips around the curves? That's what helps with that. So I must have not made enough snips in that little area. It's got a little bit of wrinklage going on, but it's not bad, and I don't think it'll show too much. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to grab my polyfill. Pardon me, because I got to reach in front of the camera. Um, Here we go. I am going to stuff him, and this is also where you got to pull in your patience. Uh, hmm, you sure could. You sure could. You sure could. Who was that, Miss Surgical Clamps? Ah, that's a good idea, Barb. Chrissy said she knows we're doing crows, but could we do red or blue for other birds with a smaller pattern? You sure could. Um, I'm working on some black rose, and I think they're going to be really cute paired with some primitive looking sunflowers in my crock. So that's kind of a little project that I'm working on. Everything that I do, I typically try to create things that I'm going to use in my home. So if it's something that I feel like I'm okay with using in my home, I hope that it's an idea that you can appreciate as well and want to create for your home. So that's why you typically see me doing things that I don't really auction any of the things that I do that I make because they are things that I use in my home. So and you know I feel like that's the right thing to do is to give you all ideas. So I will put this in like a little display, and I love to share my display ideas with you all. So you're going to take your time here and you're going to pinch some of your polyfill, okay? And using tiny stitches around the curves will help them lay flat. Yes, yes, you're right, Miss Tina. Um, what did Miss Pam say? First, yes, that's the word I was looking for, Pam. Hemostats. Is that how you say it? Hemostats. I've got to get me some of those. That's what I've been looking for. Oh, Miss Carol, I'm so glad you're here. So glad you're here with us alive. Listen, typically, so sorry, I hit the microphone. I'm not usually this big of a hot mess on live. Usually, I'm a little bit more prepared. If you missed the beginning of my live today, oh, things have been crazy around here. But usually, I try to go live every Wednesday at noon and every Saturday morning. Usually. That's the key word. But I'm a mom of three, and and farm mom as well. So things are crazy. And I don't always make it on Wednesdays and Saturdays, but those are my designated days. And sometimes I'll throw in a Friday. Um, Sometimes I throw in a Friday in there, but Wednesdays at noon and Saturday mornings around 8 o'clock, sometimes give or take a little bit, but those are the times that I'm usually able to go live with you. All right, so closing up in our time. We've got about 6 minutes. Um, So let's chat while I stuff. And I will be back on this evening around 9 o'clock or around 9:45. We're going to be late night owl crafters tonight. We will finish these and put it together. I'm so excited about this sweet little project. I can't wait to show you all finished. It's going to be really cute, I think. Um, so if you want to create something that I think these crows can work all year round, depending on what kind of decorations you put around it. I think you can make them work all year round. So now we got to stuff down into his little tail. Now that's going to be a booger. That's going to be quite challenging. They come, if you get the bags of polyfill, fiberfill, whatever kind of stuffing you use, they usually come with a little tool that looks like a skewer stick, and this is actually it's a little bit bigger, chunkier than a skewer stick, and it helps to be able to guide that polyfill down in those tight little spices. Yes, it'll be tonight at Central Time. It'll either be 9 o'clock or 9:45. I'm not sure which yet. Um, we'll see. But I will send a notification out on my Telegram channel and my Messenger channel, Messenger broadcast channel. Hey, Miss Colleen, how are you, sweet lady? So that'll let you know for sure what time it'll be. Ah, okay, we're getting close. We've got the tail stuff, we've got the body, the head, the beak. Oh, now I've got to just stuff this little area right in here, and then I'll be ready for paint. I'll have to stitch his eyes and his beak, and I'll show you how to do that tonight. I'll have a couple more of these made up, and we'll work on finishing them up. But I'll show you the other steps to getting them finished. Good. I'm glad you're doing good. Hey, Miss Joyce. Hey, Lorraine, Wanda. Happy to catch you live. Well, hello, Miss Darlene. We got Darlene's on Facebook and YouTube today. We're streaming in both places today. Let's see here. Um, my camera. I've got a new camera, outside camera, and it keeps sending me notifications. And I've got to figure out how to fix that a little bit. I like the notifications, but they're a little too sensitive. Overly sensitive camera notifications. Hey, Miss Pam, how are you? Miss Sue, how are you? All right. We've got 3 minutes. We have another crafter that's coming up in the Craft on the Clock group. We have live crafting. If you like watching live streaming crafting, then you all need to find the Crafter on the Clock group on Facebook. If you're not already part of it, that's where you can go over and we have live craft shows all day, all day, Monday through Friday. We usually begin around 6:30, 7:30 ish in the morning, Central Time. And sometimes we go all the way up until about 10 o'clock at night, sometimes even later than that. So, um, it's going off. If you like watching live streaming crafting, that's where you need to find us. I've got him stuffed. And now we'll be ready for the next steps tonight. I'll have a few more and some finished ones of these ready for us to work on and style with. And zhuzh 'em up tonight. You all come back and join me. It is a crow. Yes, it's a crow. We're gonna jazz it up and prim it up. How about that? We're gonna prim it up tonight. Join me back tonight. I'll let you know. It'll be either 9 o'clock or 9:45. I've got to go head out to the garden and do some playing before the rain comes in. But I'll be back in here tonight. You will enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.